So let's proceed let's proceed. This is study session 2. My name is Mr. Oshunbade, handling FTP 216. Yes, thank you very much for your listening. Today we are looking at meat and meat products. And in this study section, we'll be introduced to meats and different slaughtering methods. Different methods that we can use to slaughter meats. Then we are going to look at the processing of meats. We are going to look at the retail cost of meats. And at the end of the day, you are expected to understand the composition of meats, and you are expected to understand the slaughtering method. You are expected to know the details about the retail cost of meats and how you can process meats to give you different varieties, different meat products that we normally consume around here. So while we proceed, we will look into the factors that can be considered when animal is to be slaughtered. When you want to slaughter animal, there are some factors that need to be considered before you can get a good and quality, safe product. So number one is that when you want to slaughter animal to get the meat out of them, the animal should be healthy. The animal you need to use for your processing and production should be healthy. You are not expected to use animal that is sick and or animal that is contaminated or animal that is not physically fit, maybe is deceased. So you need to use animal that is healthy. And the animal must be adequately rested, preferably overnight. If you want to slaughter animal tomorrow, you need to get the animal down to your slaughtering zone today, allow the animal to rest overnight for you to have a quality meat. Then the animal should be watered during holding and can be fed. You need to give the animal water. You need to give the animal water to drink, give the animal food to eat, let the animal acclimatize and feel relaxed overnight, so that before you can slaughter the animal the following day. All these are very important factors for you to have a quality meat, safety, and that is adequately acceptable, nutritious. So you have to note these factors, very, very important. Okay. So what do you understand by meat? Meat is composed of muscle tissue, connective tissue. There are some tissues that are composed, that are made up of meat. We have muscle tissue, we have connective tissue, nerves, and some blood. Basically, meat serves as food, and it supplies our body with necessary nutrients for body growth. When we look at meat composition, you discover that meat is composed mainly some nutrients like protein, like some minerals, vitamins, and some little fat. Some are have fat, some don't have fat. Some are lean meat, because some are lean meat. Yes. So they have different kind of meat, and we can get meat from different kind of animal. So basically, the kind of meat we can get from cattle, is different from the kind of meat we can get from pig. You know, the name of the meat in pig is pork, while in cow, we call it beef, you know. So then we still have meat, chicken meat. So all of them are regarded to as meat, but they are from different sources. So I want you to note the important definition of meat. Note the factor that to be considered when animal is to be slaughtered. Factor to be considered. Note the definition of meat. Then let's move down to the method. Method for slaughtering of meat. In industry, scientifically, the main method that we normally use is stoning method. For slaughtering, we use stoning method. We call it stoning method. What do you understand by stoning? Stoning is a process of rendering animal unconscious. When you render animal unconscious, that is, when the animal should be unconscious before it's slaughtered in order to eliminate pain. When you subject animal into chemicals, electrical, or gas slaughtering, you allow them not to feel pain while you are slaughtering them. So that's the essence of stunning. And this stunning we're talking about can be achieved using different methods. We have like 3 methods under stunning. Number 1 is percussion. Percussion is the use of gunshot. While you apply gunshot to the forehead of the animal. So by the time you apply gunshot to the forehead of the animal will be in a state of unconscious. So, and it will allow you to be able to slaughter the animal with ease. Then another method is with the use of an electrical issue. The electrical method, whereby you apply the tongue of an electrode. That is kind of let me show you the picture. Okay, this is the method of gunshot. At the forehead of the animal, you apply the gunshot. When you apply the gunshot, the animal will be unconscious. While the animal will be unconscious, you can now slaughter the animal with ease, without issue. Then the second method I talk about is this. This is electrical stunning method. This stunning method is the application of an electrode. You see two electrodes, left and right. This is a tongue with 2 electrodes. You place it by the side of the brain. When it is placed by the side of the brain, you apply the electricity at the side of the brain of the animal. At the end of the day, the animal will be unconscious. It's just like they give somebody a sleeping dose or sleeping tablet, while the person will be unconscious for some hours, as if the person is dead. So the same thing is applicable to animal. When this electrical stunning is applied, the animal will be unconscious. While the animal will be unconscious for some hours, so it will be easier for you to slaughter the animal with ease at that moment. And this is the last part of it is the use of gas stunning. And the example of gas that normally apply in industry is CO2 and argon. So when CO2 and argon is applied, is applicable to this stunning method, the animal will inhale. When the gas is placed at the nostril of the animal, when the animal inhales the gas, the animal will be unconscious too. So those are the 3 methods under the stunning method, under the stunning techniques. We have gas, application of gas, application of electrical, and application of a gunshot. So that is that about the slaughtering method. Are you with me? So try and take note of the slaughtering method, the 3 type of slaughtering method we use under the stunning. Then we talk about meat too, definition of meat, different kind of meat, source of meat. Then let's look at the group of retail cut of meat. Retail cut of meat. Under the retail cut of meat, yeah, I highlighted the 7 groups, 7 most important groups here. So if you are asked to state or mention or describe the group of retail cut of meat, this is the major regions where they normally divide or separate meat into. We have the region called leg, round, and arm. We have the region called sirloin cut. This sirloin cut is around the hip bone and the backbone. So that's the pattern that the slaughter normally used. So if they want to slaughter animal, they want to cut into pieces, they don't just cut it anyhow. There's a pattern they follow to cut meat into pieces. So the second method is sirloin cut. This is comprises of hip of the bone, the hip bone, and the backbone. Then the third one is loin cut. Loin cut is basically backbone, spine, and finger bone. Ribs, we all know where ribs are. So they cut the ribs separately out, slice into 2, then divide it, remove the arm region. So we have blade region too. Blade region comprises of a portion of rib, part of the rib and part of the backbone. Then the arm region, arm is separated. You remove the arm separately. If you go to where they butcher cow, you see the way they pieces it. They will separate the arm separately. They will remove the rib separately. They will remove the backbone. They will remove the arm, the leg separately. So you follow these 7 groups. The last one is brisket, breast, and short plate region, where you remove the breastbone, you remove the ribs, and the belly. So these are the most major 7 important groups you need to take note under the retail cut of meat. You know, when we started, I said this is the study session 2 comprises of the meat and the meaning of meat, comprises of the group of retail cut of meat. You are expected to understand that. And lastly, the meat processing. So let's look at the meat processing. The last objective in this study session 2 is meat processing. How do you process meat? And what are the likely meat products that you can get during processing? So for the sake of better understanding, that's why I try to draft important points out of the study section or study material so that you can understand it easily. So under the meat processing, let's look at the simple definition of meat processing. To a layman, processing is a means of adding varieties to the diet. When you process, you are adding a lot of things. It's undergoing a lot of processing, undergo a lot of value addition, then undergo a lot of adding varieties to that diet. You process meat mainly to preserve the meat. You know, when you have a raw meat are perishable. That is, they get spoiled on time, they get deteriorated, they lose value, they lose quality. When you have a fresh meat without doing anything to it, you can't keep it for a long time. It will be smelling, and smelling is what we call it. When something is smelly, it shows that it's getting spoiled. It gives you off flavor. So in order to extend the shelf life of meat, fresh meat, you need to process it. When you process it, it will extend the shelf life of the meat. That is the importance of processing. Are you with me? Take note of that. So when you process meat, you modify it definitely by the use of some procedure. The procedure to modify meat include mincing. Note that mincing. These are the procedures we use to modify fresh meat. Mincing, grinding. Some do chopping, salting. Salting is another method of meat preservation. Curing is another method of meat preservation. Some add seasoning. When you add seasoning, when you cook, when you boil, when you salt, smoking, they are all procedure to modify meat. At the end of the day, your meat, when you process it in such a way that it can be safe and can be preserved for a long period of time. So it is very important to process your meat. And when meat can be processed basically into various byproducts, meat products. Let's look at this. There's kind of meat that we call sausage. Sausage is in form of different method. We have fresh sausage, we have smoked sausage, we have cooked sausage, semi-dry sausage, and dry sausage. Yes, but all together, they are all regards to as sausage. So meat can be processed into sausage. That's number one under the meat products. After you process your meat, you slaughter it, you remove the meat out, you wash. After washing, you dice it, or you mince it, you can convert it into sausage. Then another meat product is what we call burger. We all know burger now, where you can slice your meat, you mince, when you mince or you grind, then you add tomato to it, you add ginger to it, you add onion to it, add pepper to it. You can use some cereal products. You can use some cereal products like snacks, like donuts, to package it. Then you eat it, or you cook or fry, depending on your choice. Then we still have corned beef. This corned beef basically is another product where we can another product of meat. Yes, all these are obtainable from processing of meat in order to extend its shelf life, in order to elongate the shelf life, so that it can't spoil on time, so that you can get it preserved. That is the essence of this processing. Then, as we all know, common suya is also a product of meat processing. It removes moisture content and enhance this shelf life. Kilishi is another type where all the moisture content has been removed. And after the removal of the moisture content, the meat will be able to stay for long. You can keep it for a very long time. Even some people keep kilishi for 2, 3, 4 months, where you can be, yes, and it won't get spoiled. So those are the meat products we talk about. So are you with me? Do you understand? Okay. Please, do you have any question before we proceed? Any question around what we are just?
Yes, sir.
Mute yourself and talk. Hello.
Hi, sir.
Yes.
Question, sir.
What's your name? And introduce yourself to us. Hello, who is talking? Ask a question. I'm listening. Any question?
There's no question, sir.
No question.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you summarize what we have learned since the beginning to us? I'm listening. I'm listening now.
We discussed about various ways of slaughtering.
Introduce yourself first. Introduce yourself. What's your name? Your department. You have the floor. Talk.
My name is Kolaoli Dokas.
Okay.
We'll talk about the slaughtering method.
Okay. How do we slaughter method? How can you slaughter meat?
The first method is gas turning, and it involves the use of gas mixture like CO2 and argon.
Okay. Is that the only method?
No. The second method is electrical. What's it?
Okay, go on. Go on now. I'm listening. Dorcas, are you done? Yeah. Hello. Okay, can another person take over from her? Let another person take over from her.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
My name is Adela Lawa, ARD.
Thank you very much.
We talk about factors to put into consideration before slaughtering animal.
Okay.
We talk about the various methods of slaughtering. We have stunning method. Under stunning method, we have percussion, electrical, and gas stunning.
Okay, thank you very much. What are those factors? Yeah, you need to put in consideration.
Okay, animal should be healthy and physiologically normal.
Okay.
Animal should be adequately rested, preferably overnight.
Okay.
Animal should be watered during holding and can be fed.
Okay. Okay, go on. What are
So
what
we
are,
also, huh?
Okay, continue now.
I also talk about the group of retail courts in wholesale.
Okay. What are those groups? What are those groups?
We have the leg wrap.
Okay. Continue.
We have the silent court.
Uh-huh.
We have the neon court, the rib court,
I'm
the
with you.
blade region, arm region, and the briquette region.
Okay.
And then you explain the various ways of processing meat.
Okay. What are the various ways? What are the various ways?
We have grinding.
Okay.
Salting.
I'm with you. Are you done? Are you done?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, class rep. Can you contribute? My class rep, are you there?
It's not here. It's not here, sir.
Okay. I'm seeing Esther Iwaji. Esther.
Mama.
Can you contribute? What do you learn from this study so far? Esther Iwaji, I'm talking to you. Unmute yourself. Elizabeth, Maliki.
Sir.
Unmute yourself. What do you learn so far? There is noise there.
Yes. Okay. Yay. Let me check.
What do you learn so far?
Okay, I learned about the factors to consider for slaughtering animals, which we all know that they need to be healthy, which is more important.
Okay.
We learn about the method of slaughtering animal, which we said that the stunning method is the is the one that they use more, like is used more, like. So we now talk about the retail group for cutting animal, group of retail cuts of animals. We now talked about the meat processing, which we all know that meat processing we need to, in order to preserve the meat, there should be grinding, there should be salting, there should be adding of seasoning so that it can prolong the shelf life. We also talk about meat products, which we said that it's the sausage, the burgers, the kilishi, the suya, so that like kilishi, like suya, and like kilishi can stay for a longer period of time because of how they do it, so that it can be well preserved and the rest. That's all.
Okay. Thank you very much for that contribution. Okay. Islamia, can you differentiate to us the different products you can get from meat? Which one can stay longer out of all those products and why? Which of the meat products can stay longer, can be kept for a very long time out of all those products, and why? From what you have learned so far. Islamia, I'm directing the question to you. Lawal. Who will help her? Abisola, can you help her? Unmute yourself. Let's talk, interact. This is an interactive class, okay? So everybody needs to contribute and ask questions. You can't help her. Israel, can Israel help her? Ariel Israel, do you have an idea? Out of all those meat products, which one can stay very long? Which one can be preserved very long compared to the others, and why? Nobody? Who have the idea?
Kilishi can stay long.
Who are you? Who are you? Introduce yourself now. Is that Islamia? Hello, unmute yourself and talk now. Are you scared? I can't hear you again, though. You've run away. Okay, can anybody with a good idea? Anybody? Damilola, unmute yourself. Damilola, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Do you get the question?
No, sir.
I say out of all the meat products, when you process your meat, during meat processing, you can process meat, you can use so many methods, you can grind, you can mince, you can sorting, curing. For example, you want to produce, you can produce sausage, you can get sausage from your meat, you can get burger, You can get suya, you can get kilishi, you can get what again? You can get corned beef, you can process, add seasoning. So I want to know, out of all those products, which one do you think can be stay or store or keep after processing for long without spoilage, without getting spoiled? Which one can have longer shelf life and why out of all those products?
Kilishi, sir. One is kilishi because the water in the beef or in the meat would have been drained and dried. Then seasoning and seasoning with pepper and horsa. So I feel kilishi can still stay a longer time than the other processes. Sir.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes,
You are very correct. You are right. Okay, good of you. I appreciate that.
thank you, sir.
So everybody, I hope you are listening. Because when you look at all the products you can get from meat processing, as you said, kilishi is processed to a finished product whereby it's very dry, very, very dry. The moisture content in kilishi is very less than 5%. It's about 3% or 2%. So is to stay very long. It won't get spoiled. It can be spoiled by microorganisms, by fungi, by rhizospores, by bacteria, even when you keep it in the house. So that's why when you get to some supermarkets, you see some packaged kilishi. It can be there for 6 months without spoilage because of less moisture content. The water content, the moisture content in it has been dried off, removed into dry form. When you compare with suya, suya is not as dried as kilishi. The same thing in burger. Burger is not as dried. The meat in burger is not as dried. And even the burger is even an added series to it, like bread or like sausage, donut to it. So, and they have some moisture content in it. Even when you compare with sausage, when you compare with the corned beef, they are not as dry and what increase the shelf life of food products is less moisture content. Spoilage is as a result of moisture content in the food. The more the water, the faster the rate of spoilage, because water encourages microbial growth. Once there is no water in food content, once there is no moisture or higher moisture, let me put it that way, higher moisture in food, that food will not get spoiled on time because of the activities of microorganisms will be reduced. So thanks to Damilola for a good contribution. Thank you very much. So at this juncture, I want to say thanks for listening. Then I will upload quiz 2 on elements today. So try to assess it, attempt it within 1 week. And you'll find it under study section 2, to be precisely, so that you won't get issue. The last quiz, please, what's the total number of this class? Who can tell me? AE and AERD. Assistant class rep. Folari. Is Folari there?
Yes, sir.
Yaya? Is that Yaya or Folari?
No, I see Folari is on the group, sir.
Okay. What's the total number of this class?
Folari, unmute yourself.
What's the total number of your students? I want to know the total AEC and AERD. You're up to 70 something. Am I right? Are you not up to 73?
Folani is not talking.
Talk now. Why are you not talking? I know the
We should
person.
be up to that, sir. Folarin is not talking.
Is it not the one that's supposed to give us the correct number as class rep and assistant class rep?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it also no.
Okay, no problem. But I want to inform you that number of students that attempted the last quiz was just 35 out of 70 something.
I
So,
think I'm more than 70 something.
so the people that attempted the quiz are not up to half of the class. See, let me tell you, failure starts with quiz and attendance. And if you want to have A or better grade, it still starts from your quiz and attendance, because everything's added together. Your exam alone cannot take you to get A. It's not possible. You can't have 60-60 in your exam. Even if you have 60-60, you are not up to A. So the only way you can help yourself is to attend class, do your quiz, do your assignment. Not up to half of the class. Imagine. Okay, no problem. I will upload another quiz today. Encourage yourself and your colleagues to attempt it within 1 week. Okay,
sir.
all right.
Yes.
I wish you best of luck.
Thank you.
All right. So
Thank you, sir.
let's call it a day. We'll meet next week.
Okay.
All right.
Adiola,